friends at the time go, "Oh, wow." The face on the ground is your face. So here's a song that I think I'll do something a little lighter. And I know that poets, Linda Stitt's thing is this Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Linda Stitt's thing.
Yeah.
And she runs a salon like this, somewhat. And I don't know where it is now. Is it?
It's now at the Transact.
Okay.
Yes.
And is it in 1:30ish or different?
12:30.
No, it's 12:30 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
To 3:30.
The
There
time
you go.
we could get.
But the reason I brought her up is I know that as old as she is, and she must be older than everybody else here, she has a real naughty sense of humor. She is a naughty girl. So anyway, this is for her.
I doubt it.
There's another naughty one, I'm sure. So this is called the Cabbage Town Waltz. I looked it up. Nobody else had written a Cabbage Town Waltz. And it is a little bit obscene, just a bit. Just a tiny
Not
bit.
really.
Not really.
Not.
So here it is, and it has a sing-along chorus that goes like this. Cabbage Town Waltz, my dear, everything seems so clear, just holding you so gently in my arms. Cabbage Town Waltz, my dear, everything seems so clear, just holding you so gently in my arms. Well, it was Christmas afternoon at the Winchester Tavern. I was drinking the day away, as was my habit. Then she waltzed right into that bar, dressed up like a reindeer. And all I remember is doing the Cabbage Town Waltz. Cabbage Town Waltz, my dear, everything seems so clear, just holding you so gently in my arms. Cabbage Town Waltz, my dear, everything seems so clear, just holding you so gently in my arms. Well, the snow is falling outside, it seems so romantic. I bought her a rose and she whispered, "Will you be my Santa?" And the jukebox was playing White Christmas as we danced so slowly. But all I remember is doing the Cabbage Town Waltz. Cabbage Town Waltz, my dear, everything seems so clear, just holding you so gently in my arms. Cabbage Town Waltz, my dear, everything seems so clear, just holding you so gently in my arms. Well, we drank for an hour or two, I knew something was brewing. We went back to my place for a drink and ended up screwing. When I woke up she was gone, and so was my money. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. What time is up, but I want to thank you.
I think we have time for one.
Kibra! Kibra! Kibra awoke to Ike's urgent voice amidst the roar of wind and rain. She's coming and she's a bitch! We've got to get onto the roof! She heard a high-pitched whine in tune with the wind. It's a siren, Ike. Help is coming. No, Kibra, that's the wind. It's blowing through the gates of hell out there. The roof is our only chance. Ike, the window. As she pointed at it, the glass appeared to bend as if it was made of wax paper. A crack raised horizontally from one side to the other. Kibra! Before I could finish, the window shattered inward, showering them with glass. Wind rushed in with a ferocious groan, driving a sheet of rain that drenched them. Tex, their Jack Russell Terrier, yelped and jumped into Ike's arms. Go, go, go! There's no time to waste! Ike dragged Kibra through the house with Tex tucked under his arm. As he reached for the front door, it blew off its hinges and careening over their heads. The wind slammed into them and water rushed in over their feet. Ike wrapped his free arm around Kibra and hurried her to the side of the house where he had the extension ladder tied up. Up, Kibra, as fast as you can! We have to get onto the roof before it hits! At the top of the ladder, as an immense flash of lightning illuminated the night, Kibra looked to the south and froze in terror. A raging 12-foot wall of water was surging towards them. Ike pulled her down onto a wooden object she could not make out as the water swept them away. She tried to scream, but Ike's arm, wrapped tightly around her, trapped her breath. She heard Tex barking and got a glimpse of him clinging to Ike with all his might. The church tide drove them forward as an ungodly wind threatened to rust their makeshift life raft from beneath them. Kibra realized it was the picnic table they were riding on, as it spun in tight, dizzying circles. Thunder crackled and lightning burst through the darkness. Black clouds were spinning maniacally above them. The deafening roar and electronic whine of the wind lodged in their brain like an evil presence. Smith Oak Woods! Ike bellowed in her ear. She saw the branches of the great live oaks above the water. Yes, she thought, Smith Oak Woods. But of what consequence was that now? I'll come back for you, I promise. Go! Ike's mighty shout propelled her toward an approaching oak. Kibra grabbed hold of a large branch, wrapped her arms around it, and held on for dear life. Ike! Ike! Kibra screamed, but in an instant he was gone. She clawed her way upward to a fork in the branches and wedged herself firmly there. Lightning flared, giving her one last glimpse of Ike in the distance, before darkness closed in again. Hang on to survive. Hang on and survive until Ike could return, she told herself. No other earthly soul would have a chance, but Ike, who came into her life when hope was nearly gone, would surely find his way back to her. So the story continues as Ike is battling the hurricane and trying to get back to Kibra to save her, and there's a kind of little twist at the end, a little dramatic twist at the end, just it seems things are going to be fine. There's a little twist at the end that he has to, another little battle he has to battle and finds his way through. So the second story is called Hunting Muskie. It's the title story in the collection. So the backstory for this one is that Norman, who is 78 and widowed, invites his son Tom lives in Western Canada, invites his son Tom to come to Norman's cottage in Rice Lake for a week to go fishing. So Tom being the dutiful son, comes, makes the trip out, and when he's there, he realizes pretty quickly that his father has something on his mind, but he knows his father will only talk about it when he's ready. So this picks up just as they're out on the lake and they're fishing, and we're just getting to sort of the point at which Norman is ready to talk about what's on his mind. Go big or go home, Norman declared, as he rigged his 8-inch Little Ernie deep diver. You think it's still out there? We'll see. Norman had hooked into a huge muskie in exactly the spot a few summers earlier. He had battled it for 10 minutes before it spat the lure and escaped. Tom watched as Norman cast his Little Ernie far out along the rock ridge that ran below the surface. He cast his own line on the other side of the boat as the look at Ariane's eyes flashed again. I've got cancer. Norman made the announcement as he cast his line a second time. What? Kidney cancer. Renal cell carcinoma, if you want to know the official name for it. My God, Dad. Tom let his line go limp in the water. When did you find out? Does that really matter? Well, they can operate, right? You can live with one kidney, lots of people do. It's already metastasized. It's in both kidneys. Damn. When do you start treatments? You're going to need help. I could take a leave of absence. Chemotherapy, to tell you the same thing I told the oncologist. I'll be damned if I'm going to spend what time I have left feeling like hell warmed over. But you can't just give up. You've got to fight it. Norman cast again. The sixth island from the head of the lake, an oval island remarkable for its evergreens. Yeah, I know. Catherine Partrell described in Black Island in one of her stories. I remember everything you taught us. Are we going to talk about this or not? Not. Then why even tell me? Muskie took their prey head first. One gulp, and that's all she wrote. So we're talking muskie behavior now? At my age, Thomas, cancer is like a muskie. Once it's got its teeth into you, it's not letting go. Why would I even want to? Your mother's gone. Benjamin's gone. You lived 2,000 miles away. And I'm too old to keep coming up here. I may be stubborn, but I know when it's time to bow gracefully. A wave of guilt assaulted Tom. He had become too absorbed in his own life and his fraying edges to see that his father's life was unraveling at the end of its spool. I'm sorry, Dad. I didn't know it was so hard for you. I'm not complaining. If one of us had to go early, I'm glad it was your mother who went on ahead. I would not have wanted her to be the one left behind. But Benjamin, a father should not outlive his son. It just isn't right. Even still, I think you should consider there are... Whoa! Norman reached by Carlin's pole and bent like a bow as line went screaming off the reel. Muskie? Bet my life on it. Nothing else runs like that. There's the head shake. Put your line in. We're in for a battle. You think? Tom asked, reeling as fast as he could. Well, no, soon enough. Norman cranked hard on his reel to make up ground. The muskie started another run, dead straight for 30 feet. It broke the surface, erasing all doubt in a majestic, gravity-defying leap. Oh my God, it's huge! A 4-footer, maybe. Oh, you beautiful thing. I'll have you in this boat if it's the last thing I do in this life. Norman glanced at Tom with a grin on his face, even as he winced at the hour. I'm glad you're here to see this, Thomas. This is how I wanted to remember me, not lying in a bed waiting to die, out here hunting muskie.
This song is called I Want More Time in Your Dreams. It's for all the ladies.
It's a nice guitar too.
A bit less.
All right.
How's that?
I think that's good.
I want more time in your dreams when you're alone with moonbeams, when darkness rules the skies and you shut your weary eyes, drift away to dreamland. I'll be your right hand man. I want more time in your dreams, darling, it's more than it seems. While gallantry's not dead, it happens nightly in your bed. I want more time in your dreams. I want more time in your dreams, darling, it's more than it seems. When you think you're in danger, if you're followed by a stranger, I'll defeat this lowly fiend with a drop kick to the spleen. I want more time in your dreams, when villains perpetrate their evil scheme, like Superman and Lois Lane. I'm your umbrella in the rain. I want more time in your dreams. What do you think, Tom? I want more time in your dreams. Let me be the guy in your love scenes. When you get off the trolley, I'll be yours to walk to Raleigh. You can walk across my cloak so your feet don't get soaked. I want more time in your dreams. I will be your personal AT. I will be your shining knight till we see the morning light. I want more time in your dreams. I want more time in your dreams. Give me more time in your dreams. I want more time in your dreams. Thank you.
Run! Don't stop! The words whirl through her mind. She breathes hard and fast. From her nostrils, from her mouth, she starts coughing. His laughter reverberates behind her. She should know better than to take the shortcut after dark. But it is late. She is so tired, and she just wants to get home. At first she is glad when he appears. He can walk her home. He even carries a flashlight in his left hand, waving its light around. Left hand, he's right-handed, but his right hand holds something behind his back. You can't see what. Then he laughs, a cruel laugh taunting her. That's when instinct kicks in, so now she is running for her life. Her foot connects with a stone, and she does a little keeping her balance tango. Automatically she reaches out to grab something, anything. Her head butts against tree branches. She snatches one, steadies herself, and pants as if her breath is getting away from her. His laughter is louder. She swings around. He is getting closer, close enough that she can see what is in his right hand, raising it high now, ready to strike her. She puts on an extra burst of speed and resumes running, harder, for her life. The church appears up ahead in the street. If she can just make it, she can go inside, sanctuary. Her breathing hits over the driving speed limit. She coughs some more, rougher, and thinks she will choke. Almost there, she lurches towards the stairs outside the church and trips. She falls forward. The laughter picks up several decibels. Hands splayed on the cement, she forces herself to rise up to her knees and stand, wobbling like an old lady in high heels. Heart thudding and bile rushing to her throat, she manages to turn around. He is a few meters from her and gaining fast. His right hand is waving the weapon around like a rope, but it's not a rope. She could deal with a rope. Instead, he holds an axe. As he gets nearer, she freezes, then crumbles and blacks out. Part 1, late November 1999. I'm just going to read a couple of pages in the first chapter, and it's from Dana's point of view, and I always write Dana in the first person. Maybe that's why she thinks she writes the stories. Dana. The wind whipped my back, and the cold rain pelted my face. Hunching further inside my jacket, I pulled the hood tighter. Despite chattering teeth and an oversized purse sliding down my sleeve, I continued plodding forward. Late November in Thurston, Ontario could weave a wicked wind, leaving you out of sorts and gasping for life. A feeling I had experienced a lot lately. Couldn't seem to put my finger on it. Bass said it was because we would turn 40 at the end of next month and to get over it. But that wasn't it. Just when I seemed to find the proverbial hole, something always kept me from crawling in. But what was really stopping me? Another gust of wind tried to fell me. Reaching out, I grabbed a hydro pole and peered ahead. Not many people strolled along Main Street. Despite recent restorations, the turn-of-the-century buildings on either side lived down to their pre-transformation, drab and lost in the blur of rain and gray sky. Only the bright green of the TD Bank stood out, like a lone beacon watching over all. Pushing my sleeve back, I checked my digital. 4:04 p.m. The days were getting too short. In a town with a population of 50,000, everyone and their mother seemed to be splashing and dashing in their cars, except for me, straggling and struggling up Main Street, trying to postpone the time when turning the corner at Maitland and reaching home. I should be happy. Not only did my son David survive his kidnapping last year, but this July he finally started talking again after months of silence. First he wouldn't shut up. Then he took to following Bast around again like he did when still mute. Since summer disappeared into autumn, when not at school, David was spending more time alone in his room drawing. I didn't like what erupted from his crayons. Devils, fires with heads sticking out the top, hands wielding axes or guns. Where did he get all these ideas? Had he not healed from the kidnapping? Maybe the aftermath was like grief, going back and forth and all over the place in uneven stages. As I yet again yanked the purse up my arm, the A-bus plowed past. I jumped back, but some of the road slop sprayed my legs. Hey, you! I shook my fist at the street and splashed through yet another puddle. Over the whoosh of the cars, a voice shouted, "No, you can't do that!" Just ahead of me stood a woman, her short red hair plastered against her head and a long nose poking out. She stared at me, and my back grew goosebumps, and blood started to race near the panic level. She appeared to be somewhere in her 50s, but it was hard to tell with the rain and clear moisture on her face. I knew her from someplace, but couldn't remember where. All I remembered was the taste of unpleasantness and fear. She averted her eyes and rushed to a nearby door, held open by a hand from within. I remained standing until something wet and heavy bumped against my leg. A Labrador retriever, yellow fur matted and splattered in mud, danced around me. A leash dangled from his neck, and as he jigged around, the leash dragged behind him. He stood on his hind legs, leaned his front paws against my front, leaving a jagged abstract on my light blue jacket. "Hey, fella!" I reached out to pat him with one hand and tried to hang onto my purse and hood with the other. The purse rode down my arms, the hood slid down, and mud covered my hand. The dog quit dancing, shook himself, then whined as if apologizing. "It's okay," I said. "Where do you belong?" And that's the beginning. I'm going to skip a few chapters so we get the two private investigators have two things to look into. The first one is the Sister Olson, who is charged, or going to be charged, she's arrested but not charged yet, with supposedly or allegedly, I love that word, allegedly pushing one of her brothers into traffic and he was killed. And she's not saying much, so Detective Sergeant Fielding thinks Dana and Bast could get something out of her. Meantime, Bast is going after a case where she's been emailed by a young lady who is looking for her birth parents. And this is what this is going to be about. Bast is coming home. Traffic was still stopped, so Bast made another call to his sister, but it went to voicemail. She had sounded upset in her message. The car ahead started moving slowly, so he placed his cell phone on the seat beside him and continued driving. As he turned the car into the driveway, he saw the woman on the veranda, crouched in the Muskoka chair, still not put away for winter. The hood from her green coat covered her head down to the top of large dark glasses, which hid her eyes. He couldn't see her hair, but after exiting the car and nearing the veranda steps, he saw something else. Her nose, hooked and prominent. Bass stared at her. Your name wouldn't be Olson, would it? He asked. What? No, it's O. Her head darted around as if she was looking for someone hiding nearby. This was a mistake. I shouldn't have come. She stood up abruptly and started down the stairs. Bass grabbed her arm. Take it easy, miss. No, I shouldn't have come. Should have stuck to. Oh, I better go. Please let go my arm. A sudden idea flashed through his head. You wouldn't be the Ellie who emailed me looking for her birth parents, would you? I'm Bass Overture, one of the partners of the Attic Investigative Agency. He smiled at her and removed his hand. Why don't you come inside and we can talk about it? No, I might be seen. Outside, maybe, but not upstairs in the office. Come on, you look like you could do with a cup of tea. I prefer coffee. Like my sister. Sister? Someone else is here? She began that darting business again. Dana Bowman, my fraternal twin and business partner. She's not here right now. He didn't think it a good idea to mention that Dana was picking up her son from school and there would be a dog with them. Too much information and Ellie would be just flying away. Something beyond an email request to find biological parents was bothering her. He had to stick to simple basics and get her inside. Look, Miss Foster, my name is Foster, at least I always thought it was. Well, Miss Foster, let's go inside, away from any prying eyes. Wrong words. Ellie Foster looked ready to bolt. Not that there are any. He turned around and looked both ways along the street and across the street. See, no one is around. He hoped Rita Brooks next door was at a meeting and her husband was downstairs with his train set. Oh, all right, Ellie said. Bass turned the key in the door. He was just opening it and gesturing for Ellie to precede him inside when he saw Buddy tearing up the driveway, leash dangling along the ground and charging up the stairs. Bass began barking at Ellie as she raised her arms in front and huddled against the back wall. She didn't seem to notice that her sunglasses fell to the veranda floor. Buddy down, that's a good boy. Dana's voice came from the driveway. Sorry, he broke away from me again. Buddy, come here. But Buddy didn't listen until David came up beside his mother and stared at Ellie. David grabbed Dana and started hollering, Mommy, Mommy, that's the witch who looked in my window last night. Buddy charged down the stairs and stood in front of David as if to protect him, but he kept barking. Dana grabbed his leash and tried to calm him down. Circus came to Bass' head as he moved closer to Ellie. Is this true, Miss Foster? He leaned over towards her. Were you scaring my nephew? Yes, no, I was there looking in the window, but I didn't mean to scare the little boy. I was looking for you. We have doors here, Bass said. What was the matter with the woman? And what were you doing climbing up a tree and peering into David's bedroom? I thought I might see you to talk to you. Right, said Dana. I'll believe that one when ants start jogging. As she spoke, she stomped up the steps. Despite his anger towards Ellie Foster, he knew how Dana reacted. He put out his hand. Now, sis, let's take this step by step. Dana turned around. Bass, I want Miss Foster to tell us exactly what she was up to, staring inside my son's window last night. She swung around, glanced at Ellie, and crossed her arms. Start talking now, or I'll call Fielding. Fielding? Ellie asked. Yes, Detective Sergeant Donald Fielding. Fielding, Dana said, staring at Ellie's nose. The police officer who is probably going to arrest Sister Olson for murder. Who is Sister Olson? Ellie asked. What has she to do with me? You have that Olson nose, Bass said. Murder. Who was killed? My name is Ellie Foster. Don't you read the newspapers or watch TV? Dana asked. Sister Margaret Mary Olson is suspected of pushing her brother in front of a van around supper time yesterday, Bass said quietly. Gerald Olson is dead? Thank God. Ellie Foster crumbled to the ground. I'll leave it at that. And my books are over there.
This is the title poem from this collection, All This Blood. And like all of the stories I tell, it's about my sister. Somewhere I must have some stories about me, but I think that's where we go to objectivity of thought or lack thereof. All This Blood. Other kids play doctor. My younger sister says that's for amateurs, as she scissors Andrew Miller's hair the day before his uncle's wedding. At 8, she takes the dare when Wick Parish taunts. Go on, throw a rock at my head. She eyes the fist-sized garden stones at the base of our mulberry tree. Throw it, he demands. She does. His forehead spills like a cup. When we are teens, I slice partway through my finger with a bread knife. She binds the wound in paper towel, like she is an expert in what the hell to do with all this blood. We stare at the white pockets, clotting pink. Did I just get an It's okay, so I won't read any more blood bones. At last. June is not designed for rain, but the boat is paid to pull away from shore, its benches sturdier than the dollar I slipped for the red plastic poncho of resolute tourists. I raise my blue scarf, bought for $10 on another ship, a gift from someone who never knew how to tell me. At last, the first touch, a fresh scratch, skin. You prepare your habits to meet the lie. We count the week in song lyrics and the roots you map on my ribs. I mean to ask if this is better, this increased distance from home, this lavender fog that swallows the pinnacles of skyscrapers. Brown-eyed girl. A hole the precise size for the vitreous to spill in, drop by drop, tiny sparks of silver against black. I'm detached, retinally. An undercover bubble snuffs the light, pulls focus from the feeder cells. Without nourishment, we collapse. These orbs, too. Limpid or pools, it no longer matters. It anti-matters, because the tear's there. The field recedes, and in the emergency room, the sooner my name, the graver the danger. I have wished for a detached eye, by which I mean a detached heart. A surgeon wielding a laser to scar the vision back in place.